said it was going to start. I like that.
Yeah, we're
fucking difference.
fucking on time. That's amazing.
For once, well, we also got together, 20 minutes early?
Right.
We're still just barely starting on time. Oh, we're good at this game.
Well, we did the bullshit that we usually do on air, off air.
That's true. That's true. Just gonna start. Actually, let me resize your face.
It's not going to get any smaller.
Well, I like making the live, like the hangout screen the same size as the video on the YouTube page, so I can watch the chat and watch you, and there's no lag.
I do the pop out of the chat and put it over on my second monitor.
Oh, well, I put the whole shit on my second monitor. You're not better than me, Corey. I just will now minimize the YouTube screen in the background. There, that's what I was waiting for to show up. Morning, Growly.
Crowley. Crowley, you're probably the only one we'll ever talk to that paid attention. How did you feel about last week's April Fools?
Jack said he liked it a lot.
So, oh, good.
Yeah, so that works.
Yeah, I saw that they posted it, which was really sweet. Does that mean you get to punch me? I don't know how that game works.
No, it has to be below the waist.
Oh. So I can't see his hands from here. We don't know his location.
But did you know that if you whoop, you get to hit the person who did it?
No.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
I'm really not. We played Tater or Padiddle, the slug bug, that kind of shit.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what I remember. Or we just beat each other up. I remember many a day that my friends just beat the ever-loving shit out of me because that's what we called fun. Just slamming hairspray cans on my knees, making it so I'm old now and can't walk.
Jesus.
I'm not a functioning human being anymore. That's the fun of growing up in Michigan in the 80s. Thank you, Growly.
Well, interesting isn't always good.
Yeah, I know. It was interesting. Kind of like, a pus-filled cyst that you weren't expecting to be on your inner eye. It was interesting.
God.
Yeah, it was a tribute to our friends Jack and Dan. But it was also, April Fools. And now you get to hear our Easter episode. We're timely.
Did we decide on this being Easter?
That's why I chose it.
Oh.
I said it's too bad that we did April Fools because we could have done the Easter episode of the show too. And then we just decided, well, we might as well make it our Easter episode because this plugs in the hole of what we would have done last week.
Yes.
I love that you can't not put your mouth over the thing.
I don't know what I was thinking.
You're thinking I'm tired and I want to get started.
Kinda. Well, thanks. Growly thinks we're better than puss. I know he meant puss, but in my head I said puss, and then I just kind of went with it.
Who knows? Don't know his tastes. Whatever your value system is, we appreciate it.
All right, I'm gonna start this thing.
Yeah, let's do this.
Start talking about more puss.
I say like that.
Fucking asshole. Welcome to episode 122 of the podcast, production of the Galactic Network. For more on this podcast, including show notes, contact information, subscription links, go to gncast.com/pot. I'm your host, Matt Stein. With me, as always, is Corey Puss Scott.
In boots. I should really wear boots.
That's
my thing.
Please wear knee-high boots and just walk around going, I'm puss.
No, they'll go all the way up to my vagina.
Oh, boy. But then how do I get at that sweet, sweet labial meat?
They zip downward.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's like assless chaps, but they're really just boots.
Yes. Okay, they're completely crotchless chaps.
So if you have boots that go up all the way to your hips, there's no belt
Maybe there is. Maybe there's straps that go up the side that go to an actual.
But is that okay? So assless chaps are literally just.
I feel like whatever I'm describing, Lita Ford has worn in an '80s video sometime.
Probably. I forgot who this woman is. I'm gonna Google her. Lita Ford. I may turn my camera off and masturbate.
It's also what he does when he Googles old Alpo commercials.
Yep. Or Alice Cooper.
Yes.
Or Dee Snider, Twisted Sister.
Right.
When he's wearing all that makeup, sometimes you just gotta go to the Bone Zone. Speaking of Bone Zone, so we have a leather couch, and we bought it in our old house, and we are looking to replace it because the seams are starting to split. Now, a friend / coworker just bought a house, and I'm like, this couch is perfectly fine. There's just some seams that are splitting. So I'm like, we get a new one. Do you want this one? And his first and only question was, did you go to the Bone Zone on that couch? And I'm like, yeah, I did.
Yeah, totally.
And he's like, all right, cool, I want it. I don't know if he knows I was serious.
Don't hose it down. Don't scrape it off.
I've cleaned it. I keep it clean. Sometimes
I've got a petri dish and a hankering for some little Mac clones. And
well, I'm shooting blanks, so it doesn't matter. But I condition the leather, so I wipe it off. I've at least gotten any sort of sticky residues.
The leather. Okay, yeah, we got you.
I just piss all over it. I just whip it with the towel.
Yeah, I had a hand-me-down mattress from some friends when I moved into this old apartment
I don't think I could do a mattress because that is where the magic happens.
I want to say that not only was there consummation and conceiving on that mattress, there may have actually been birthing on that mattress. I'm not 100% sure, but that thing came to me not gently loved, massive loved, and for a long time it was Aaron's and my familial bed until the spring started picking through, and then we put a memory foam topper on it for a while until we finally got our own mattress. That's the life of the poor.
Let's go with frugal.
Yeah.
Or
it was still very nice. It was far more comfortable than the futon I had been sleeping on for the year before it. So,
oh my god, I am couldn't do it. Once in a while, I'm a very stubborn person. So if we argue, my wife and I, not Corey and I never argue. I'll just sleep on the couch for no good reason. And never fails the next morning. She's always like, why'd you sleep on the couch? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, let's not talk about it. But the couch is so rough to sleep on that I always wake up and just everything hurts. And what is that? REM? Everybody hurts.
Yeah.
It's listen to REM on repeat. Yeah, it always fucking fucking hurts. My ass hurts. My hips hurt. My back hurts. I just go sleep in my own bed. So yesterday we fought and I slept in my own bed because I've learned.
It's like, who am I punishing here?
Yeah, right.
We have a really comfortable couch. Aaron is good at picking out sofas, and I slept on it over the weekend both nights because our cat has been a little rambunctious and isn't allowed in the bedroom at the moment. She knows what she did, and so I don't want her to be lonely out in the living room by herself. And I promised her on Friday when I was leaving, she waited all week for me to have some days off. So I spent as much time as I could laying around and cuddling with her and stuff over the weekend. So I slept on the couch with her, and Aaron worked. So it was fine. And then we napped together on Sunday too. Just like the whole weekend was just me and Gidget, all big spoon, little spoon. I'm not going to tell you which one was which. But our couch is nice because I made it up as a couch bed for Aaron last week.
I really am just trying to picture the cat being the big spoon in this situation.
She's not a small cat.
But I'm
a fat man.
I didn't say that. There is a lot of Corey to love. He's very soft. I just, if I was a cat, I would do this thing. If you're listening to this podcast, you're not seeing what I'm doing. Literally, Growly is the only person that can see what's happening. Yes, it's the little cat kneading. I would do that to you all over you.
from the old Warner Brothers cartoon where the big dog Spike in other episodes, and he's got the little teeny kitten, and the little kitten stands on his back and claws at his back and kneads him until it finally settles down and goes to sleep. Yeah, Gidget does it. Aaron calls it making biscuits.
Yes, I've heard it called that.
And Gidget definitely does that, but more often than not, she likes to stand right on the seam between my chest and my stomach, because I have a seam, because again, I'm fat. And she just likes to stand right on that part, which I have a weak heart. I have problems breathing, and just in general, I'm a tender person, and she just loves to be in that position. Otherwise, she'll be curled up in my arm and just kind of look up at me all the time. That's usually on the chair. On the bed or on the couch bed, she'll lay on my legs a lot of the time. But sometimes she'll just kind of like, if I've gotten more prone to sleeping on my side, and so she just kind of like pushes into my chest and leans in against me.
See, I want to push in tight and lean against you.
Maybe it's true.
Watch a movie, share a moment.
But my boner would push you off the couch.
That is an intense boner that's gonna forcefully push me off the couch. But the thing is it's not like you're just gonna go from like soft to.
No, it's going to be a slow push.
Mach
it's going to be like that scene
like,
of Superman in the subway when the cop was following Otis down in the subway system to find Luthor's lair, and then the wall just started pushing him out into the train. Except it's going to be more like the train pushing you, unless I line up perfectly with your tunnel.
Oh man, no, that's an out only.
No, it's not.
It is.
And then I'll punch it out from the other end.
I'm the giver, not the receiver.
Okay.
So bite the pillow because I'm going in dry.
That's okay.
Oh boy, there was one time my wife tried to stick her finger in my butt as a joke, and I knew that if I could deal with it long enough, it would weird her out.
It would stop being funny and start being real.
Yes, and I won. I won that one.
Yeah, but that's because she wasn't wearing press-on nails.
No, dude, she has like legitimate, real long fingernails.
Real nails are tough. I'm not going to deny that. But press-on nails, you wonder what is the breakdown of that glue, and am I going to have a nail pop off inside me and then have to work its way through my system and just scrape the whole way until it comes out the urethra?
But it's like eating a bunch of broccoli. It's just going to naturally clean as it goes.
Yeah, sure. You tell yourself that.
You're going to bleed a lot too, but...
You're going to bleed a lot.
Oh, you're going to bleed an incredible amount.
But the glitter is going to be spectacular.
Ooh, can there be strawberries too?
Yeah.
I like strawberries. Strawberries and glitter, the best smell of any sort of stripper. So, I guess we should go back to doing what we're doing because, you know...
We do a show, right?
Sometimes.
And we are doing our Easter episode because our show got preempted last week by another show. So we decided to backtrack up. We're timely. And give you the special Easter episode of the Podcast of Terror. And what do we choose?
The Omen.
We chose The Omen.
Which is... it's a really good reminder of why children are fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it's how much of the film, like, I remember this being wickedly scary when I was a kid. Mostly the scene of the decapitation stands out in my head.
I don't remember it being so long, and even the remake is just as long.
I have not seen the remake.
I only looked at the runtime on the remake.
Oh,
but I did see the remake one time.
I felt like not enough of it really featured the evil kid, as I remembered. Like, it was more shit happening to people who were conspiring against the kid. But the kid wasn't really involved in much of it. He was just kind of around for it.
Yeah, there was a lot of build up too. Like,
yeah,
scenes taking a long time just to play out, and that was annoying as fuck. That was very fucking annoying.
It feels like that's a product of its time, because The Exorcist, which we had done a while ago, same thing. Rosemary's Baby. The films were not as like immediate with the stuff that they were doing. There was a lot of buildup. There was a lot of other characterization stuff that would go through, and I don't feel like any moment in this was unnecessary. It gave it a really well-rounded story, but Damien becomes more prominent, I guess, because I remember watching this and then seeing the Omen 2 quite a bit when I was a kid as well.
Mm-hmm.
Damien obviously becomes more prominent in the later series, but in this, I just kind of expected that he would be involved more. And the only thing that he really does himself is Frau Bluka, which is what I'm going to call her, sends him spinning around on his fucking tricycle. And he's just like going around in a room over and over and over again. And then she opens up the door and he goes down the hall and knocks his mom over the staircase. And that's really it. And that's just like, well, that's a dick move that any kid could do. That's not necessarily.
She had it coming.
She really did. You don't fucking stand on stuff just to get to a potted plant. Let it die. Don't put it in the middle of a fucking hallway way up anyways. And don't stand haphazardly on some bullshit thing. You deserve it, lady.
Wow.
You didn't deserve that second kid. I guess you didn't deserve this kid either. Because
don't get too excited. You know how your heart gives out. Yeah,
that's true. You want to go into what the Omen's about?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
you expect me to?
Yeah, this is why you're here.
This is why I'm here.
Earn your paycheck.
This podcast is 80% Corey, and I feel like that's way too bad a ratio. So the Omen starts out with Robert Thorne, played by Gregory Pecker. Excuse me, my name is Peck. He is a man of some renown at this point, but his wife has given birth to a baby, and the baby has died in the birth. So he is going somewhere else. He's being driven to this place where he's kind of saying to himself, the baby died. I have to fix this because I don't think my wife can handle it. And basically someone has said, hey, there's this woman across town that died giving birth to her baby. So her baby doesn't have a mom. You got a mom with no baby. Let's get these two kids together and make something happen. So he goes into this church and they give him a kid and takes the kid back to the hospital, replaces his dead kid with it. Mom never knows the difference. Jump forward to 4 or 5 years later, and everything's all good. They're having a good life and everything. And he comes home one day and says, hey, I've just been made the emissary. What is the word? I don't know. He's American representative for the UK.
Ambassador.
Yeah, ambassador. Thank you. So they move to the UK and go into this house. Damien has his 5th birthday. I'm also a little weirded out because I think by the time this came out, that means that me and Damien are the same age, like born at the same time. Both have mothers that were jackals. Just kidding, Mom. If you're listening.
What year were you born?
71.
He was born in 70.
Okay. Because the movie came out in 76 and
yes.
Fine. All right. Anyway, so he has his 5th birthday. They have a nanny. The nanny sees some hellhound dog in the yard during the party. I think that she was actually probably more likely to do this because of the clown, but whatever. The nanny goes wandering into the house, comes out up towards the roof and says, hey, Damien, this is all for you, which I think is where the Sister Hazel song comes from. And she's got a noose around her neck. She jumps, kills herself, crashes through the window. All the kids see it. They're all like, fuck. And I thought Tommy Lee's birthday parties were bad. And then... And that kind of sets things in motion with Damien himself. Like, this is the moment where you're starting to see, oh, this kid's... He didn't do anything with it, but he's probably kind of fucked up. And certainly the dog should go away. The dog was not supposed to be there. Then this mysterious new nanny shows up the next day and is like, oh, I was sent by the service. What service? Doesn't fucking matter. You guys need someone to take care of your kid. You're rich. You're not going to do it. Sure, strange lady, come in and expose yourself to our child and say you have to spend time alone with him to get to know each other. The fuck? Like, white people are too trusting of other white people. That is a problem. That is a real problem in the 70s. Probably still now. So this lady's obviously a bitch, and people in the house start quitting and disappearing and stuff. And some priest guy shows up trying to talk to the ambassador dude, saying, hey, I need to talk to you. I know what happened with your original kid, that your kid was dead, and this is not your kid, and this kid's the devil, by the way, just so you know.
Yep.
There's also a photographer played by David Warner. Pretty fucking cool, David Warner. Never played someone less creepy than this role for him. Like, he's in a movie about the son of the devil, and this is the part where you go, oh, David Warner, you know, nice guy. Every other part you see him in is like, David Warner is motherfucking creepy as shit. Anyway, so David Warner is a photographer. He took pictures of the first nanny at the party, and when he develops the pictures, he sees what looks like the shadow of a noose around her neck. When he takes pictures of the priest who comes and warns Robert Thorne about the baby, the priest later on dies by a giant pike coming down from a church that gets by lightning and slamming through him.
I have a complaint with that scene.
Yes, sir.
If you have long enough to look up and scream and put your hands in the air, you got fucking time to move.
It was the Michael McDonald scene in the first Austin Powers movie.
Yep.
Where they're on the steamroller and he's like, no, for 5 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. It was like, I can understand. You're like, don't land on me. And at the same time, it's also one of those things where it's coming down and you just don't know, well, if I move, am I going to move into where it's going to hit, or am I going to move away? What do I do? And you just kind of like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. He was a priest. But David Warner, as a photographer, meets up with Thorne and says, hey, just, you know, this priest was fucked up, but there may be more to this because my photos kind of prophesize his death. My photos prophesize the death of your first nanny. And I keep seeing pictures of myself where it looks like my head gets chopped off. I'm not really digging this. Maybe we should kill your kid.
How do you get to that? Like, I'm taking these pictures and weird shit shows up. Let's murder your child.
Well, I assume that, first of all, you listen to a lot of rock music.
Played Ozzy Osbourne, Bark at the Moon backwards. That's what you get.
Well, that's your fault for listening to Bark at the Moon, because that's a J.K. Lee album as opposed to Randy Rhoads.
I don't really ever listen to Ozzy Osbourne. That's just the first one that came to mind. I don't know why you get all weird and butthurt about it.
No, listeners, let me know if I'm right on which guitarist is on Bark at the Moon, because that was a full-on pull, if anything. No, I think it's more of like bad shit keeps happening, and the guy is getting more and more convinced. Well, I mean, I only got this kid for my wife, and I know he's not my kid, so I'm not that attached to him. Maybe we should kill him. And they go off to where the original priest that gave him the kid was. That guy is all fucked up. His eyes all milky. He's been living in some weird dirge area.
He's had a rough life.
Yeah, you know, it's like that. Obviously, he's masturbated way too much, because they tell you you'll go blind.
Yeah.
And you know, he probably only did it with the one hand, so he's only blind in the right eye.
Probably has a massive bicep on that.
Yeah,
forearm, the
seriously.
whole 9 yards. He's a speed jerker through and through.
Alternate hands and get mild glaucoma instead. You don't need to do this shit all one hand and make that thing pus ridden. So I don't know. So there, he leads them to a gravesite where it turns out there are graves. Yeah, I'll get into this. There are graves for both the mother of the original baby who died, or of Damien, and then their baby is in the other grave. So they get there, and these graves are marked. Like, who's burying these people and creatures to begin with? Like, why are we going to have an actual grave site for what turns out to be a jackal? Because Damien was birthed of a jackal, but they dug and put a tombstone down for a woman that didn't exist to bury a jackal in it. You know, that's just basically a dead dog. You can just throw that out in the trash. You know, they would take that shit back in the day. You could feed it to people. Nobody would care.
Every time you say jackal, I think of the Family Guys episode where they're playing Pictionary and the guy just keeps going, "It's a jackal! It's a jackal! A jackal!" Sorry, I just wanted to get that out there.
I think of the band Jackal with a Y, but I'm just going to make every weird 80s hairband reference that I possibly can. Jackal might have been 90s.
Just saying. Yeah. I think Jackal was the 80s.
Because anybody who listened to the 80s episode last week just didn't get enough of us talking about hairbands from then.
1991 to present.
Yeah. I had a feeling they were in 90s. They were post slaughter. So what else? So they're at the graves. They go, "Oh shit, you know, this is his mom. What's with this bitch?" Literally. And then they find out that Thorne's original kid didn't just die in childbirth, but was murdered. His head is bashed in. So they're like, "Oh fuck, this is all kinds of bad shit." And then a bunch of dogs come out, and this film was, you know, again, one of the reasons why people don't trust Rottweilers, which is stupid. Rottweilers are great dogs. Mm-hmm. And the dogs attack them, and they climb a fence, and Peck gets his arm all fucked up on the fence. And they go and they find these 7 daggers that they have to use to kill the kid. But Thorne gets a little squeamish. She's like, "But should I kill this child? What should I do that for?" And he throws the daggers out in the street, and the photographer guy goes to get them and gets beheaded by a plate of glass, which is the coolest scene in the fucking movie, hands down. Just the slow pull of the glass pane shooting through him and the head just getting lopped clean off. That is the money shot for the film. Oh, by the way, while this is going on, Thorne's wife gets murdered by the new nanny. Crazy bitch.
Mm-hmm. She had it coming.
Yeah, she couldn't get on a sweater, and so she had no way to defend herself.
Yeah, that was fucking... That was out of control.
I get trapped in my clothes too sometimes.
I have a hard time putting underwear on. I always seem to get my foot just caught a little, like a toe right on the second leg, and then I'm hopping around, and it always happens when I'm changing at the gym, and my fucking dick and balls are slopping around. Some old man behind me probably checking it out, taking notes.
You know, you're just advertising it. You're showing the goods.
I want that old man to know what he's missing. Yeah. Remember the days when his balls were this clean, soft, smooth, silky. You got to moisturize. Half there. Yeah. I work with what I got.
So the Thorne eventually goes back home, beats up the nanny a little bit, traps the dog, takes the kid, goes to church to kill the kid. Cops chase him to the church, shoot him. Kid lives. That's it. That's pretty much where it ends. Oh, and the kid gets adopted by, I think, the president or something. Really weird. Like,
classic ending to any movie. It's like, you're getting adopted by the president.
The whole point was to put the Antichrist in the care of a family that's well off, so that he'll have an easy life and get put into political power and do all these things. So like, he's not going to suffer and be able to concentrate on just being evil and shit. And that's because this is, I don't know if it was always planned as a series, but it certainly worked out. They moved a series really fast because this came out in 76. I think the Omen 2 was 78. And then the Omen 3, which starred Sam Neill as Damien, came out in 81.
I don't think I've ever seen 2 or 3.
They definitely jump the timelines very quickly. So time is a little amorphous in these things because he's in high school, I think at a private school in the second one. And the third one, he's an adult and has anal sex with somebody and gets them pregnant, according to the fourth story.
So you can have butthole babies. Did you watch
what they implied?
Did you watch the TV show?
I did not.
I heard
And
I heard it was terrible. But
yeah, it's only a couple years ago that it was on. But
yeah, it lasted one season, and it was canceled like before the first season was even done.
yeah, that's. They also did a TV movie for the fourth Omen, Omen for the Awakening or something, which was about a sister, which was weird. So it's like it's all about this girl and displays a lot of the same things as the story of Damien, but then I guess that girl becomes the protector of Damien later on. Like it leads into it. So I guess it became considered more of a prequel than the fourth story. And then what I understand it is that the TV series follows that canon, so that they introduce the sister taking care of him and all this stuff in that. I don't know how any of that really works because I didn't watch either one.
That's what I think about it.
Yeah. I'm interested in seeing Omen 3 because I've never seen that either. And I would like to see that because Sam Neill. See if he like conjures up dinosaurs and shit.
Fucking he resurrects a pterodactyl.
Right. Because he's only done two things, right? He's done Jurassic Park and Omen 3 in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And a decent cameo in the most recent Thor movie. Yeah. I think as far as classic horror movies go, and introducing the idea of the Antichrist to a lot of people who probably never thought of the Antichrist, and the whole 666 thing, the number of the beast, all that's straight out of Revelations. Great reference points to use. This is a really good movie.
Yeah, I mean, by no means is it a bad movie. I enjoyed this movie. I just wish it was a lot shorter.
Or would it make a difference if there was more action stuff to it? Or
not necessarily more action, but the problem is now we live in a society where everyone wants everything quick. You know, I've said it before, my old man rant. We want it quick, we want it fast, we want it now. So when you have like long drawn out scenes with people like just reacting facially, it's a really easy opportunity to lose people. Now, this movie was clearly not made now. It's what, 32 years ago? 42 years ago? 76? 42 years ago.
42 years ago.
What is math?
I don't know. It's probably satanic.
Probably. It's that sacred geometry.
All those numbers.
Yeah, so, and I mean, like I said, they remade it in 2006, but I don't recall. Like, I watched it once and that was it.
I just know that Julia Stiles was the mom in it and looked confused the whole time.
I would tongue punch her fart box.
And I'm sure she would appreciate the offer.
You don't think she'd say yes?
She'd save The Last Dance for you.
That's all you get is a very annoyed groan.
No, she's very pretty. I don't know. I think that this movie had a lot to live up to, being that it followed essentially The Exorcist, which is just a couple years before. But it also, I think, got the benefit because after The Exorcist, which got a lot of bad press and a lot of people against it, and I'm sure this probably did too, but it probably had an easier time getting an audience because the audience from The Exorcist was already there and kind of hungry for a follow-up. And that follow-up was not The Exorcist 2.
Oh, God, no. But you also have to... I mean, it follows somewhat... it doesn't really follow. It would be like... it could be a prequel. Like, Rosemary's Baby could be a prequel to The Omen.
Yeah.
If you kind of pick it apart and take out a bunch of scenes and shit, but...
and if Mia Farrow was a jackal.
Fucking stop that. So Growly asked, this is off topic, but he wants to know if we saw Julia Stiles in It's a Guy Thing. No.
I have not. I
haven't even heard of that.
I mean, obviously 10 Things I Hate About You, and I'm trying to remember the one with. Was that the one with her and Jason Lee? Because I do not remember. I think I've seen parts of that.
Oh. It's just called A Guy Thing. Julia Stiles, yeah, Jason Lee, and Selma Blair.
Okay, so I've seen parts of it. Like
They're
he
fun.
wakes up and had cheated on his fiance with her and can't get rid of her.
Yep.
So I assume he tongue punches her fart box to
At least
get her out of his apartment.
Probably. No. It's a good thing. Put a little hot sauce on that butt. Just go to fucking town.
Yes.
Is this a good movie? Is this a movie that I should watch? I don't. It did not appear to do very well.
No, that's why it's played on Comedy Central all the time.
Oh man, I haven't turned on Comedy Central in a literal fortnight.
I don't know that their programming is really doing anything to draw you into it.
No, I don't think so. The only thing I turn my TV on for these days is pornography and True TV to watch Practical Jokers.
I do think by the end of this episode, though, I'm going to turn you into a fan of the band Jackal, especially because on their original album, they have a song entitled She Loves My Cock. And I can't imagine a better theme song for you.
It just sounds like Steel Panther before Steel Panther.
I don't know what Steel Panther is.
Oh my God, how do you not know who Steel Panther is? They have a song called Asian Hooker.
Good for them.
Here, it's like cock rock, so like hair metal, but all the songs are like really fucking dirty. Let's see, the 2003 album called Hole Patrol.
Jesus Christ.
Track listing: Big Boobs, Is It Hot in Here, Hell's on Fire, Fat Girl, Thar She Blows in parentheses, Michael Falls in Love, Stripper Girl, Ginger Pusses Out, and Metal Shop. They did they had a song called Death to All But Metal, and Sarah Silverman's in the video. And at the end, she just keeps going, yeah, death to all but metal. Like death to all but metal. And then the singer's like, yeah, death to all but metal. And she goes, no, death to all but metal. Get it?
Sure.
Butt metal versus butt metal.
I now remember the very first Jackal song. I think their first hit was called "Down on Me." So maybe you're right. Maybe you're on the right track. Is that Steel Panther and Jackal are probably on tour together right now, hitting every Arby's from here to Wyoming.
Here you go. Okay, so the Steel Panther album "Balls Out" came out in 2011. Supersonic Sex Machine, Just Like Tiger Woods, 17 Girls in a Row, It Won't Suck Itself.
God.
Let Me Come In.
But that's the thing, is that music from my era was doing this unironically.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They believed that this was okay and was music that people should actually listen to on hit radio. Hit radio played Down on Me all the time. It's not like Steel Panther, which I have to believe is a joke band.
Yeah, so
not even at the point like the Darkness. Like the Darkness was sort of a joke band, but was really, really good at doing the music.
Yeah, so I think
Steel, like a non-comedian Tenacious D.
Yeah, Steel Panther was like a Las Vegas house band, and they just got a little too big, and then all of a sudden, they were really popular. I haven't heard them do shit lately, but I mean, they went from playing Vegas on like a weekly basis to touring the area to touring the country to no one knows what they're fucking doing anymore. Growly, the Elton John song was "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me." Although I had to Google it, I didn't just know that.
My wife is a wonderful person, and sometimes forget that she's speaking out loud. So we had gone out doing our errands one week, and we came home, and we had been listening to Elton John at some point, maybe not even that day, but at some point in the week, we had Elton John's greatest hits playing in the car, and she was singing in her head, "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me," except she didn't sing out the first part, and then she just wound up singing "Go Down on Me," like starting the middle of the verse. And I knew what she was going for, but it was not her intention at all to sing that just like that. And it was just this moment of recognition of what the hell am I saying?
I imagine this happened. Now, this is how this whole played out in my head. She sang, you looked at her and you pulled out a fine napkin and you just thwapped it and you said, of course. And then you tucked it in to your shirt like you were at a fine restaurant.
You were so close because it's
you
not
went
a
the
napkin. It's like a Red Lobster bib, except it's a picture of her on it.
Oh, it's even better.
Yeah.
Just fucking tied around your head. Oh my God. I imagine you also wear a headlamp.
Sure.
So you can see the work area.
I mean, I'm deathly afraid of movies about spelunking, but I still appreciate the equipment.
Jesus. That's awesome. Just pull out a fucking pickaxe.
I also wear goggles because sometimes you have to wait for the parting of the red tide.
Oh no. We should talk about the movie again.
Did you know, because I didn't, that this is one of those movies that has a ton of true stories about the haunting of the people who made the film and accidents and stuff on the set?
I did not know that. I know that that's The Exorcist. Everyone knows that The Exorcist had that problem, but I did not know this one.
So when they were going to make the film, they were warned by somebody like, you're going to have a lot of people fucked up from this. You probably shouldn't make this movie. And so when Gregory Peck was flying to London to film it, his plane was struck by lightning and obviously survived it. A couple weeks later, another person from the production was flying to London. His plane was struck by lightning too. And then they had a plane that they were using for filming, and they wound up selling it to or loaning it to somebody else for a completely different thing. And on that flight, all the people in the plane were killed in a crash. There was one of the people from production got into a car accident a couple weeks later. And while he survived it, the woman with him, he's the guy who made the scene with the decapitation. So he got in a car accident, and the woman who was with him in the car accident got decapitated.
Oh, Jesus. I think I did hear that. That's so fucked up, but yeah.
There's a lot of stories about this. I guess they did a film about a lot of things that happened. Also, the scene with the monkeys, like the monkeys went absolutely batshit. So the woman who played the mom, Lee Remick, who played Catherine Thorne in this, her reactions in that car when the monkeys are going nuts are real because the monkeys are legitimately going nuts. And the animal trainer who was brought on to deal with the baboons, he was killed a day after the shot was done by a tiger that grabbed him by the head and killed him instantly.
Holy shit.
Yeah. On June 6th, 76, that's when John Richardson got in the car accident, and his passenger was killed. And according to local reports, a sign in the vicinity clocked the distance to the nearby town Omen, O-N-M-E-N, O-M-M-E-N, Omen, as 66.6 kilometers away.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, naturally.
Yeah, as you do.
Sense.
And one of the stuntmen for the film, he went on to work on a movie called A Bridge Too Far, and he was supposed to be doing a jump sequence where he jumps from the roof to an airbag, but he seemed to fall abruptly and strangely, and when he woke up in the hospital, he claimed he'd been pushed by something.
Not the devil.
Yeah, or,
or a buddy at the
coworker who's like, I don't like you.
That's a very good point. He probably should have looked around.
Yeah,
I'm sure it wasn't someone he knew.
You had an ample opportunity to look up while you were falling.
Yeah, right. Fuck, man.
So, Cursed Films. It seems like a Weird World Weekly episode. Anybody remember that show?
Once upon a time, but that was a long time ago.
Yes. Does that make the show or the movie more interesting to you?
I mean, kind of, but not really.
2 different lightning strikes on planes in a matter of 2 weeks. That was weird.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Plus, there's all that lightning that was used in the scene with the priest in the film.
Mm-hmm.
So it is that's kind of like, if all these things can actually be legitimately like looked up and stuff and followed up on, that is a little creepy for me.
I mean, yeah, kind of like take older news a little more seriously, because fake news is like now a thing that we have to worry about.
We didn't have people just saying this stuff on the internet, although I am reading this from an article on the internet at popsugar.com. But I think that they did a movie about, or a documentary about the horror stories behind the Omen filming and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's also a Cracked article about the 6 Curse movies, and I think this is part of it. Although, of course, Poltergeist is the biggest one because, man, that thing was fucked.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. Do you have much else to say about the Omen?
No, not really. I mean, I really do like the movie, but I guess I'll do more of an explanation when we rate it, which I guess is the natural progression of what we're gonna do. You should rate it.
Wow. I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I think it's a very good movie. It is not something that I'm going to jump on for rewatch all the time, although I am more interested, now that I've rewatched it for the first time in probably 30 years, to go and rewatch The Omen 2 and for the first time see The Omen 3. I don't think I'll watch Omen 4. But I'd like to see the total culmination of Damien's story. And because they happened so consecutively, it wasn't like, oh, we did an Omen 2 and then 10 years later we're going to do the Omen 3. I'd like to kind of follow that to its end, because it seems like there was at least somebody with a plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
3.5.
Two is just as long.
Of course it is.
Trying to see. I mean, I also gave it a 3.5. Very good movie. I remember seeing it probably for the first time in high school, and you know, it's up there. There's a reason that the movie is as popular as it is, and there's a reason that it has fucking 3 sequels, a TV show, a remake, like it is
a cartoon series, a breakfast cereal, lunchboxes.
How I wish that there was a breakfast cereal.
The inspiration for 1001 gospel albums.
Crowley asked if the last movie is about his daughter, and it is. Yeah, they made 1991 American made-for-TV horror, serves as the fourth and final addition to the original Omen series. Blah, 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 blah.
That also finishes with her like being put in charge of taking care of Damien, which I don't exactly understand how that works. In the 4th book, she was the daughter that was conceived by Damien and the woman that he had anal sex with. And then she had an anal pregnancy.
Yeah, so if you dump a load in a chick's butt, she's gonna birth the devil.
Wouldn't it at least be a Golgothan?
I don't know what that is.
It's a poop monster from Dogma.
Oh man. I have not watched Dogma in a very long time. I should do that. Huh. Sorry. Really got sidetracked there with the old shit demon. Matt Damon.
The old shit demon Matt Damon.
The old shit Matt Damon. That's I completely lost my train of thought here. But yeah, 3.5.
Yeah, it's one of those things. If you've never seen The Omen, you of course have to see The Omen.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things owe a great deal to The Omen. Mm-hmm. And while it's not exactly a quaint movie, the kills in it are pretty solid, especially for the time that it was made. And like I said, the decapitation scene alone is just so well done. It's like the spider scene from The Exorcist. Is all the different sort of stuff from The Exorcist is kind of like, oh yeah, I've seen this before, or I'm not not as taken with this because we've obviously projected way past this now. But
Yeah.
that scene where she spider walks down the stairs still holds up to this day.
Mhm.
And I feel like the decapitation scene is pretty damn good for its time. And overall, it's a very well done movie. It's just like once you've seen it, I don't know if it's going to be the movie that you rewatch over and over again.
Right.
But who knows? You know, everybody's got their different tastes.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Do you want to read
And the other thing you should do is definitely go listen to the discography of Jackal with a Y.
Right. Read the outro.
Hey,
For you.
did you know you can contact us by leaving us a voicemail at 805-328-3966? Did you also know that there's this thing called email? And you can use that to contact us by writing us at pot@gncast.com. Or if you're really weird, because I don't know who does this, but we give you the option, you can leave us a message on the website. You can go to the gncast.com website, and there's a way to leave us a voicemail right there. Take the hardest path traveled and do that. Let us know what you feel. Who's your favorite 90s should have been an 80s band?
What's your poop schedule?
What is your... Mine's every Tuesday through Wednesday, the whole fucking 48 hours. And then for the next 3 weeks, nothing. You know what? You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We're a podcast to and all those places. And you subscribe to us via iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or whatever podcatcher that you listen to. You probably already know this. If you're already here, you're doing it. And if you want to leave us reviews, you can go to bit.ly/potreview or use those places you already were, the iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. That any place at all. And subscription options and links can be found at gncast.com/subscribe. And you can join the Facebook page for Galactic Network just by doing that, going to Facebook, typing in Galactic Network, and having them steal all your information and give it away to any kind of fucking government agency thing.
Ah, yes. So Easter has gone and passed, which means Easter candy is on sale. So go to amazon.podcastofterror.com, buy all of your old on sale Easter candy. Gives us a little cut of the old moolah. This will keep this show free. I'll stop complaining. That's never going to happen. So
I'd love to get Cadbury cream eggs 4 weeks past their expiration date, but just whip them at people's houses.
But Amazon Prime delivery, it'll be there in 2 days.
Yeah, I know.
So they'll be a month late, but you will have gotten them in 2 days instead of just going to the store.
I don't know that Cadbury cream eggs really go bad.
Probably
chocolate gets all gray. The insides are also gray, but it doesn't matter because they're just still delicious.
It's a very good reason I don't eat those things. Anyways, Corey, where can people find you about the internets?
I'm doing a new show over with the Ink Geek guys. If you go to STFU Cast, that's STFUCAST.com. We've had our beta episode, and then we've had our first official episode, and we record Tuesday nights at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, live on twitch.tv/Ink Geek Studios. And you can come see us record it if you want, or you can listen to it later. It's even messier than this show, if you can believe that.
It does get worse.
Yeah. We try. We actively try to make it worse.
That's true. That's true.
And Matt, what about you?
You know, I'm out there.
Matt the Lifeguard on Untapped?
And Twitter and Instagram, yes.
I found out that the president of my company, because I've been dealing with some stuff with his company phone, has an Untapped account.
He's probably not on my level, though.
I don't know, man.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to get into that.
President of manufacturing company. I think he can probably keep up with you. But I was just so impressed. I'm like, not someone that I see as a tech person per se, not ignorant of tech at all, but to think that dude is on a social media thing and so specific that it's social media beer. Now we are obviously, you know, we've got a few different breweries right down the street from us and stuff, and he entertains clients and stuff all the time. I think maybe he just digs it. Oh, that's another level of dedication.
Anyways, that's going to do it for another episode of the podcast. Oh, wait. Next week, we're going to be watching Mayhem, not the Norwegian black metal band.
Because they don't sing down on me.
No, but their guitar player was murdered by the only guy in the band, Burzum.
Was he in the Omen?
No, he did drive 13 hours to stab the guy to death, though.
Ouch.
He actually made the other guitar player in Mayhem drive him 13 hours so that he could stab him to death. Yeah, it's really fucked up. It's actually really interesting. Yep.
We'll definitely have to go into that a little bit more next week.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, the movie Mayhem. I saw an article about it. I guess they were playing it over the last weekend on Shudder, which we have a subscription to, and I still haven't really checked out. Maybe this would be an excuse to finally open that up.
I had a subscription to Shudder for like a week, and then realized that there's really nothing on there that's of any interest to me, and I don't like just watching movies to watch movies. They have to like look interesting, so I got rid of it.
I got it for my wife because she likes to watch movies just to watch movies.
Yep.
And then unfortunately she said, "Hey, I want to watch all the Seinfeld episodes on Hulu." God damn it.
Jesus. Anyways, we'll talk about Mayhem next week. So watch it. So yeah, I'll do it for another episode of the podcast here. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Stay scary, everybody.
All right. Growly McGrowls, thanks for hanging out. I have to speed edit this episode so I can go to sleep.
And Growly, you're right. The Cadbury cream eggs are really sweet. As a kid, I could handle it. I haven't had one in a couple of years now. They were my mom's favorite, though. So they were one of those things that were around the house. And it was like always exciting to find chocolate hidden away, stashed in your mom's room, or a box of Cheez-Its. I stole a lot of Cheez-Its from that poor lady.
Fuck.
When I was out there last year helping out after her accident, I wound up buying her Cadbury cream eggs and Cheez-Its a couple different times, I think. When I was doing all the shopping and stuff for her because she had her car accident.
I love Cheez-Its.
Like oh man, Cheez-Its are awesome. I keep trying the different types of Cheez-Its. And it doesn't work for me. Like the closest I found to being like I can sort of deal with this are the extra burnt Cheez-Its.
Wait. They have an extra burnt type?
Yeah.
What?
They're cooked like a little bit more. They're darker in color. And they've got Tabasco flavored and different cheese flavors and stuff. And they've got
I've never seen the extra burnt. I gotta look this up. Cheez-Its. Oh, holy shit. Oh, of course, Google Ad Services, you fucking prick.
And you can order them on amazon.podcastofterror.com. Extra toasty. Yeah, they're fine. I mean, it's certainly not a horrible thing comparatively, but like I still go back to the regular Cheez-Its. The regular Cheez-Its just work for me. I think I've gotten like the lighter salting. They got big Cheez-Its.
Huh?
Big Cheez-Its.
Oh yeah, I forgot they made big Cheez-Its. I like the Cheez-It Grooves a lot.
I've not tried the Grooves.
They're very good.
Or the Snack Mix.
You're a snack mix.
I am. I'm a snack pack.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. Come on, you little fucking prick.
I love you too.
Not you. All right. Well, I'm going to stop YouTube now. Growly, thanks again for hanging out, buddy. We will.
Thank you, Growly.
See you likely next week. Oh yeah. There's nothing going on next Sunday, so we'll probably record a little later. So he'll be awake, hopefully. All right. See you next week, eh?